Hey guys, I have a quick haul for you guys today. I've tried to film this 3 times and it just hasn't worked, and I'm really sick of talking, so I'm actually just gonna run through the titles and the authors, and if you guys want a synopsis for any of these, just let me know down in the comments. And honestly, there's a lot here, so if I tried to do a synopsis for each one, this video would be like 30 minutes long. So yeah, I'm just gonna run through them real quick. Okay, the first is, the other day I got Tell the Wolves I'm Home by Carol Rifka Brunt. I'd been debating getting this for a long time, but what really made me need to get it immediately is Chabosky here on YouTube, or BookTube, did a review of this. She read it and did a review, and her review made it sound amazing. Like, I'd wanted to read this for a while, but she just made it sound like, oh my gosh, I need to read this in the next day. I'm very excited. So if you're on the fence about that book, go watch her review because it's fantastic. Next we have The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus by L. Frank Baum. There was a movie made of this in the 60s, I think. There were 2 films, actually. There's one that's the Rankin Bass version that's okay, but it's not awesome. And then there was a cartoon one that was amazing, and it was one of my favorite films when I was little, and it was on every Christmas. Now it's never on. I can't find the DVD anywhere. It makes me very sad. But then about a year ago I found out that it was a book, and I found this in the bookstore, so I'm very excited that I have this now because I can still enjoy the story, even if I can't watch the film. So this is going to be a Christmas read for me this year, and it's so friggin' pretty. I love the cover. So yeah, very excited about that one. And then we have Fire Study by Maria V. Snyder. This is the 3rd book in the Study trilogy. I have Poison Study, and so when I saw this, I had to grab it. And I guess I'm going to have to order Magic Study, and they're all going to be different editions, but I mean, that's okay, because I tried to find them all in the same edition, and I couldn't online, so whatever, that's fine. And then I have Julie of the Wolves by Jean George. And this is just one of those books that I always saw when I was little and always wanted to read and just never got around to it. And this should take me 2 hours because it's very tiny. I don't know if you can tell, but... And I think some class must have had to read this, and then a kid kept their book and then sold it. Or not sold it, but gave it to Salvation Army because it has initials. So, yeah. And then we have Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm by Kate Douglas Wiggin. This was another one that I always wanted to read when I was little, and I had a copy of this. It was a different cover, but it was also by Puffin, I think. And I had this, and I lost it when I was little. There were 4 books, Wizard of Oz, Charlotte's Web, Secret Garden, and this one. And maybe Pollyanna as well, maybe not. But I had those, and they all got lost or sold or given away, something, where years later when I wanted to read them, they were gone, and I had to rebuy them, so that kind of made me mad, but oh well, I have this now. And then, here's The Last Concert, or Last Holiday Concert by Andrew Clements. He was one of my favorite authors when I was little. All of his, or most of his books are illustrated by Brian Zelznick, who actually went on to write Invention of Hugo Cabret and Wonderstruck. So if you guys have read those and you really love his illustrations, then you should read Andrew Clements, because Andrew Clements is a really good writer, but also you would then get Brian Zelznick's illustrations in his books. So, and I read... One of my favorites is The School Story. That's one of my favorite childhood books. And then also The Landry News is really good. But at this point, I'm just trying to collect all the ones I haven't read to read them. So, yeah. And then we have Girl with a Pearl Earring by Tracy Chevalier. Really, I've wanted to read this for a while, but the main reason why I got it is because it's on Rory Gilmore's reading challenge list, and I'm trying to read all of those in my lifetime. So, yeah. Next we have John Irving's The Cider House Rules. I love Prayer for Owen Meany. It is one of my favorite books of all time, but it is the only John Irving book I have ever read, and I wanted to rectify that. So I've heard that this and World According to Garp are the other two Irving books that I hear so much about, and I really want to see the film of this because it has Tobey Maguire and everybody says it's really good. So, yes, and what really put me over to getting it right now is Leslie over at Words of a Reader just read and reviewed this, and she said it was amazing. And then I told her to read Prayer for Owen Meany because it was one of my favorites. So, yeah, and I love this cover. It's way prettier than the film cover. So, yeah, very excited about that. And then we have Mariana by Susanna Kersley. This is now the third Susanna Kersley book that I own and have not read, but I'm planning on maybe like marathon reading the three that I have, and then I'm not going to get Firebird until I've read these three. So, yeah. And then I got the leather-bound bind-up of all of E.B. White's, maybe not all of his works, but the three most popular, and they are Stuart Little, Charlotte's Web, and Trumpet of the Swan. And I had Charlotte's Web when I was little. Don't know what happened to it. I had Stuart Little that I got like a couple months ago, but then when I found out about this, I gave that copy of Stuart Little to my friend, because I really wanted this. And I've seen the film of Stuart Little, and I own the film of Charlotte's Web, but I'd never heard anything, like, I knew that it was an E.B. White book, but with Trumpet of the Swan, I'd never seen the film, never read the book, so I'm very excited to have all of them together, but especially that one, because I want to read it. And this is just gorgeous. Like, these are the illustrations for, they're by Garth Williams, and they're for Charlotte's Web and Stuart Little. And then Trumpet of the Swan looks like that, and they are by Fred Marcelino, I think. And they're an entirely different style, but they're just as beautiful to me, so that's really cool. And the reason why I got this now is because you guys, okay, if they come out with a new, like, version, like a new leather-bound one, my advice would be pick it up as soon as you can, because my friend got me the, he picked up the leather-bound American Gods Anansi Boys bind-up by Neil Gaiman for me. I paid him back for it, but he picked that up for me. And I was looking at other leather-bound editions online, and this was like 6 months later, and the Neil Gaiman one was only selling in the marketplace, and it was selling for $98. So with ones like these, where they're kind of like newer ones coming out, I would get them right away. Like, I feel like Sherlock and Shakespeare and Grimm, like all of those, I feel like they will just reprint and reprint and reprint because they're so popular. But ones like these, if you want it, you better get it fast. So yeah, that's why I got it immediately when I saw it. Okay, and then I got Lola and the Boy Next Door by Stephanie Perkins. I love this book a lot. I read it last summer, and I just really needed my own copy. I wanted to have my own copy of, I already own Anna and the French Kiss, and I really wanted my own copy of Lola and the Boy Next Door before Isla and the Happy Ever After comes out. And the reason why I got the hardcover is because these covers, to me, are so much nicer than the new ones. Because the new ones are, like, colorful and nice, but these, I'm not a huge fan of, like, people on my covers, but I just, when you read the description of Lola, I feel like this girl is Lola. So, and same with Dude Man being Cricket, and he's a very cute cricket, in my opinion. But yeah, so I know I'm going to have to get the new cover for Isla and the Happy Ever After, but I wanted as many of the old covers as I could get, so that would be the first two books. Okay, next we have 3 books that came out today, actually. Some of them are pre-orders. One of them I just got because I felt like it. The first one is The School for Good and Evil by Soman Chainani. And I picked this up today just because I decided last night that I really wanted to read it. And the reason being is that I was waiting specifically for this to come out in paperback anyway to get it. But then what really made me want to read it now instead of like waiting until Christmas or something is I saw Where Is Wallace's review on this, and she just raved about it. And as she was talking about it, like, you get to know more about the plot line. Like, she doesn't give away any, like, major spoilers, like, nothing that's not right on the back of the book. But she does just talk about it in more detail without really giving anything away. And so that just made me really want to read this. And also, the second book came out today, and I wanted to read it, like, I wanted to pick it up and then read them both together, but then I was like, no, restrain yourself, get this, if you love this, order the other one. So, yeah. It sounded so good. And then also I read the first 2 chapters of this on Amazon because they have them for free in the, if you go on Amazon and look at this, they have that, like, look inside feature, and they have the first 2 chapters free. So that was great. So yeah, I'm very excited about this one. And then we have Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith. I can't tell you guys how excited I am about this because I have wanted to read a book by her forever. But with Probability of Love at First Sight, there were too many people who said that Hadley as a main character was whiny. Yeah, so I was like, maybe not. And then This Is What Happy Looks Like, the synopsis just didn't grab me, but this, like, oh my gosh, this sounds like exactly the kind of book that I would love, so I'm very excited. And the thing is, if I completely fall in love with this, and really love her writing, I will probably go ahead and get Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, and just, kind of judge for myself about Hadley, I don't know, so, yeah. And then we have What I Thought Was True by Huntley Fitzpatrick. I did not know that this was coming out until like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need it in my life, because, yeah, that was funny. Anyway, because I read My Life Next Door by Huntley Fitzpatrick last summer, and completely fell in love with it. It was one of my favorite reads, not just for the summer, but one of my favorite reads last year. And I got the paperback version. Originally I got it from the library, so I picked up the paperback maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. But this one, I don't want to wait a year for the paperback. I want to read it now. And I checked the library to see how many people were ahead of me, and the thing is, if there was even one person ahead of me, I was not going to wait. So, yeah, I pre-ordered this. And the thing about pre-ordering online is that it's a lot cheaper than if you just go into the bookstore. But I don't feel guilty about that because I bought a book from the bookstore today. I bought this from the bookstore today. So, like, my friend always tries to guilt trip me a little bit and be like, no, don't buy your books online. Buy them from Barnes & Noble in the store or online. But just, no, stop going to Amazon. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but as long as I still give Barnes & Noble some money, I don't mind about getting books on Amazon. I don't. I don't feel guilty. Okay, next I have 2 things that are, not, books, but anyway. We have the Divergent score. This was produced and I think performed by Junkie XL, and the executive producer was Hans Zimmer, so that was a thing. That also made me really want to buy it, because I love Hans Zimmer. And it also has some tracks featuring Ellie Goulding, so that was cool. But, yeah, I completely fell in love with this music. I saw the film, and as soon as I got out of there, Well, I was thinking like, oh, what a good movie, but the second thing I was thinking was, oh my gosh, I need that score. So then the second time I saw it in Barnes and Noble. I mean, in the mall. I saw it in the mall, so then I went to Barnes and Noble immediately afterwards, and I was like, I need this score, give it to me. And not really like that. And they were like, there doesn't seem to be one. And I was like, what are you talking about? And it's because this just got released today. So I had to wait 3 weeks, but that's okay. And now I'm very excited. I'm going to put this on my iPod. So yeah, I highly recommend giving this a listen if you haven't seen the film yet, or if you have seen the film, what are you doing? This is amazing. Go buy it. And then, last but not least, we have The Hobbit numero 2, numero dos, that's it. And it was, it's the desolation of Smaug. I don't know, people pronounce it different ways. But, oh, and this is another reason why I don't feel guilty about not buying as many books at Barnes & Noble. I bought this at Barnes & Noble, and it was kind of pricey, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, very excited about this. It was amazing. So good. If you haven't seen it, see it, because it's awesome. So yeah. Okay, you guys, I'm sorry that was kind of a long video, but that was all of my stuff, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you want like a synopsis, like an actual synopsis of any of these books, please let me know, and I will let you know down in the comments. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!